I've taken myself away from everyone in my life, including my partner. And I've done this because I understand the power that isolation can have when you're trying to go through a big shift of identity, and when you really want to take big steps with disciplined daily action. There's nothing more powerful than just taking yourself away, entering into a bit of a monk mode, getting stuff done, and allowing the things that need to come up so you can work with them as they do. Now, I've taken several decent periods of isolation over the past decade, including 30 days I spent in silence in the Mexican valley in a hut, completely on my own with no technology, and another time when I've been wandering the mountains in Peru. I've done it a few different times, and they've always been like the precursor for me for really big shifts in my life, and they've seemed to have come up for different reasons. There was a time where I was in Mexico and Guatemala, and I'd been basically keeping myself out of relationships for a period of time because it was an area of my life that I think needed to be worked on, needed to be healed in some way. So by taking myself out of the relationship dynamic, what I actually found was I started to raise my own value. I started to create higher standards for myself and for my time. And the funny thing is, that's how you actually attract someone who's also going to appreciate you at that level, appreciate you the way you want to be appreciated. I mean, there's the Hermetic saying from the Hermetic philosophy that as within, so without, as above, so below, as the universe, so the soul. Everything's a reflection, a microcosm of the macrocosm. Everything inside you is going to be reflected on the outside. So by taking this period of isolation, recognizing more your own higher standards for yourself, recognizing more your own higher value, that's how you're then going to attract someone who sees the same in you, and vice versa, because you're going to meet them in that same energy. So after my long period of isolation, I suppose in a romantic sense, that's actually when I met my partner, and we've been together ever since. And I see it like it's that same isolation that brought us together in the first place, that now, for the first time since we've been together for around 3 years, we've actually spending some time, a reasonable amount of time apart, because we both feel such a deep calling, such a deep knowing that we need to invest fully in ourselves in order to create this next level for ourselves in our businesses. Isolation can work across all different avenues and aspects of your life. It could be your career, your work, it could be your relationships, it could even be your health. Whatever area it is in your life that tends to hold the most fear, tends to be the area that will call for you to draw back from the world and to really just take some time to look inwards and see what needs to come up and what you're missing, which parts of yourself you might even have been abandoning. And it can, even though it can feel like you're taking a quantum leap when you take these big identity shifts, what it really is that you're coming back to who you really are. Because underneath it all, these are all just layers that are masking our true nature, and that's what we're always trying to come back to. So when we think about it as growth, it's really just really becoming more of who you really are. Sometimes on the path of evolution, we're just no longer a match for the people, the places, and the circumstances that we've been used to. And we're just called to take a step back, take a step back away from it all and look inwards. Often this is where a lot of people become afraid, because this unknown, it can become quite uncomfortable, and people can be tempted to just step back into what they do know. But really the true growth is going to happen by welcoming in that uncomfortableness that you're faced with is in the unknown, because this is where you're finding your edges. This is where you're finding your room for growth and for your room for recognition of where you can come deeper back into yourself. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'd love to hear how it landed for you. If you want to drop me a comment, and please do like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.